civilian as human shield. And they hide behind them because they know if they come in the open, they will not survive. If they come on conventional war, lines drawn, they will not survive. So that's what I wanted to understand as we pray. And then also ask relevant questions. And I always a person, when you tell me 10,000 people have died, where did you buy it? Unlike other religions, Christian, Jews, and Muslims, we don't burn the dead. We don't burn, we bury them. So in other words, if you lost 10,000 people, there should be 10,000 graves. So there has to be proof from what we are listening in our minds is exactly what you are saying is what is going on the ground. Of course, war has never been a good thing. So we pray for the people, innocent people of Palestine as well, of Gaza, so that they may be able to be safe. And but also we pray for the safe return of all the hostages that were taken from Israel. And we pray that God will deliver the enemy, Israel, from his enemies. Because it's terrorism is not, I used to think, saints, I used to think that angels are protecting, and I believe so. And I know if they are not protecting us, I don't know what we'll be doing. And I used to believe that really, probably, I am not a victim. But then, when the bomb was brought here, then I realized. When you realize somebody can come and start attacking you for no reason of what you have done, and get into your system, hack into your system, convince the young people you've been having, and to help them develop and grow and turn them around so that they can cause more havoc. Then you realize there are some evil people out there, and they cannot be let continue with what they are doing. They have to be stopped. And so that's one of the beliefs that I've concluded, that yes, we take it for granted, and we think by God's will and goodwill, everybody can change. But there's some people in their mind, if they are not stopped, they will continue causing more harm to other people. So we pray for Israel, we pray for the Prime Minister Netanyahu, the President, we pray for the Ambassador, but we pray for them around the world. I've never seen anti-Semitism as I've seen it in this period of time globally, that I pray that God will continue to protect His people and protect you as well, because you need protection. Please watch out in your neighborhood, watch out things you don't understand, because terrorism.
Team setting is what take out team setting. Mukisa. Ogamba otya Mukisa?
Bano kubaako oluwanko.
Sindika nnyo.
And for what? Because you want to lead Uganda, because you want to be a president, because you want your philosophy to be believed by every Ugandan, because everybody is a kafiri, infidel, everybody's an infidel, you only want to go. So you kill their children, you murder. It's just unbelievable where we are. But also the level of anti-Semitism. I have never seen it before in universities and colleges. And I also believe, Ambassador, is that there's a lot of ignorance. People don't know. President Museveni always called it the current affair people. They don't know history. And because they don't know history, their current affair, they just look at what's going on right now. They don't know the land. When we read the scriptures and read the Bible, because the Bible is the oldest historical book you could ever come across. When you look at a land which has ever been given, but the land God bequested to his people, a particular group of people, and those are the descendants of Abraham, and those are the Jewish people. He gave them that land. He gave the land to Israel. And there's no doubt about it, they're willing to share it with other people. But they're novice and they're ignorant of geography and even knowing where things are. And so they throw things out there. Ambassador, I want us also to talk about the misinformation. Because one of the things that is happening today, now, it was not Israel which bombed the hospital. It was one of those organizations which are working with Hamas, and which literally their rocket misfired and landed in the parking yard. When they talk about, I was listening to this, if you talk about 10,000 people, do you know the space you will bury these people? When you talk about 4,000 people, kids who have been killed, where is 4,000 kids? Do you know the space where these dead bodies of the little kids will be, or 10,000 people or dead?
I think it was on the 13th of October, and then we have an aerial photo that we took of the same school from the 14th of October. And there are many such examples. I want to say a few more, coming to facts and what happened. Approximately between 3,000 and 4,000 Hamas terrorists invaded actually Israel on the 7th of October. Huge number. We found, after we killed them on that day, on the 7th and the 8th, fighting with them, approximately 1,500 of them inside Israel. 1,500 Hamas terrorists were killed by us in Israel, in the fightings. We found a lot of ammunition. For instance, 3,000 anti-tank rockets. 3,000. Very advanced RPG rockets. Approximately 1,400 Israelis were killed. I'm saying approximately. We brought to grave 1,138, but the rest are remains of people that we can't identify. So we don't give a name because we have not managed to identify. Sometimes it's a very difficult forensic work. We have experts also from abroad. The other thing I want to say is that accusations, theories that people come up with, yeah, definitely there are injured civilians in Gaza. I don't doubt. The question in the war is not whether there are civilians killed or injured. That's the international law of war. The laws of war know it or should know it if they are experts. There's no talk about proportionality in law, in the law of war. Why? Because then we would have expected. So obviously the laws of war do not relate to proportionality. They have one very strict prohibition to aim at civilians.
Yeah.
You are not creation of the northern part of Gaza to the south. This is why we draw millions of leaflets. This is why we make phone calls. If you heard about any other army that makes street are kind of picking up on him. So sitting outside without knowing what goes inside doesn't tell the story.
It is so important because terrorism is not only against Israel, but terrorism. Here in Uganda we are fighting terrorism. When you go to Sudan, you're fighting terrorism. That it is about the Arab-Israeli conflict.
They copy-paste. Exactly. I mean, does anybody have a bit of...
With terrorism, their logic of reasoning is completely off. They are not going to just accept, because they are bullies, exactly. Give an example, they are bullies. Ambassador, you think people just came and killed and ran away. No, they had come to occupy, they had come to take over and take hold. That's why they came with all this equipment and weaponry in order to destroy tanks and destroy all kinds of stuff. This also, there's something that the people don't understand. When we look at the news and we see the flashes of bombs being dropped, the town they've dug under buildings, command centers, under facilities. This is something they've been planning for years. It cannot be just done by instinct. That someone didn't know what he was doing and he planned himself. He was angry because I didn't have my lunch, so I hit my neighbor. No, this was planned. This was premeditated. This was that was organized. This was set. This was.
Yeah, we found the masses in mind. This has occupied Jerusalem, Haifa, Nazareth, the Galilee. This is what they refer to. People confuse two issues: the Judean Samaria and the Palestinian Authority issue, where we are still in some parts there, and the Gaza Strip. We were not there for 2005. 2 years later, in 2007, the Hamas took over and flew the leadership of the Palestinian Authority from rooftops.
Yes.
So they can't access Palestinian Authority, Abu Mazen, the chairman, the president of the Palestinian Authority cannot go to Gaza. Maybe there's a one-way ticket again, but much of the media says occupation, retaliation. There's no occupation. It's difficult, it's very difficult for human beings to think that someone can come to the house of his employer, because most of the kibbutzim of the villagers were the employers of 20, 30, 40,000 Palestinians from Gaza who used to come daily to work in agriculture. And why on earth a human being would think, I'm talking now, I'm not an Israeli diplomat right now,
Yeah.
An Israeli that wants to come to a solution with the Palestinians, because they are not going to disappear, they are not going to disappear. So,
to visit that area. So there is a lot of misinformation and ignorance that the people don't know where Gaza is, they don't know who is controlling Gaza, they don't know who is controlling. The Palestinian Liberation Organization they used to know of Yasser Arafat was overtaken by Hamas. The Hamas or any other group. This is what we're going to have, because even right now, no authority can speak on behalf of the Palestinians.
yeah, and those who speak, instead of distancing themselves from the second solution, push out the Hamas, the Islamic Jihad, any terrorist organization, because today it's there, tomorrow it's in another place. They copy-paste. You know, all of a sudden we see also the focus from...
After we survived the bomb here in Ambassador, there was a couple that just got married. I hope someone is following me on the TV. They just got married. They came here to see gorillas in Uganda. Their honeymoon was to go support Uganda tourism industry. support Uganda tourism industry. So someone saves money, they've just finished their wedding, they're on a honeymoon, and they were murdered. They were murdered with a driver. They were killed with a driver who was driving them in the vehicle. I hope someone has these pictures that are requested to be put up, because we always forget. She was kidnapped. This old man, what do you kidnap him? You know, he's 85 years old. You take him so that you can use him as a bargain, you know, a bargaining chip, you know. If you don't do this, we'll do this. We'll do wage war. It should not be accepted. It should not be accepted. And we should let people know the best way to live with people is to be in harmony, is to talk to the people, argue as much as you can, do whatever you can. You'll be appreciated.
More money, better life, better health, better life. I think it has some kind of way, it's a capitalistic thinking. We think, okay, we give him more money, he stops doing it. It doesn't hold water. Not with terrorist organizations. They have their own agenda. And the only way of stopping it is taking them out. Just eliminating the terrorist organizations' heads. You know, we had the President, Isreal, winning of also the Nobel Peace Prize, Shimon Peres. And he believed that if we construct joint industrial zones, the terrorist act of burning schools, executing students, killing innocent civilians is a matter of politics and a matter of context, then it's a very bad sign for terrorist organizations, because they say, okay, so we don't have anything to be afraid of. Terror becomes a localized, or the definition of terror becomes very localized, and it's not. Terror is killing, hitting, injuring civilians for the sake of achieving a political aim. And it doesn't matter where it takes place, what is the aim, who are the citizens. As easy as this. And anything else will just make this phenomena stay and expand.
Okay.
Yeah, but they want to blame the government. Usually they blame the government. You've heard about these hypotheticals people come up with. That September 11th was really the CIA set up. They always don't want to understand who is the culprit. They always come up with things. They say maybe this one was done by government. They wanted to do ABCD. Who want to kill people? Who want to cause chaos? Who wants to stop terrorism? I mean, like right now, when we lost that couple, which had come for tourism, Uganda lost. I have friends that just come from abroad, and everybody was afraid to come to Uganda. They were cancelling plans to come to Uganda. So as a country, we are losing revenue. You know, when that couple alone, you know, that's why we need to be vigilant when we're fighting terrorism, because it may not hurt you physically, but it's going to hurt you financially. It's going to hurt you with something that a child would have been employed. Like that man who lost his life was a driver of that couple. I mean, he has left orphans. So terrorism, don't take it as the report I was talking about, it is politics, maybe it's government planning. No, you suffer, you lose. Once you lose a lot, you lose greatly. And that's what their interest is, so that you may doubt the authority. At the same time, you may doubt one another. Number two, you blame one another. Number three, you are decapitated, you are cut off, and there's no way you can survive. And that's where they want to rule and reign nations into terror. You look at some of the countries that have not fought terrorism in West Africa. Those countries are non-starters. There's nothing you can do in those areas. So we pray that God will waken up everybody's mind to realize terrorism is the same. Whether it's local terrorism, international terrorism, they are not for you. Terrorists have never been for you. So they shouldn't hide in your system, they shouldn't hide anywhere, because at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to suffer and suffer heavily. And also when you look at the people of Gaza, if this organization and reject Hamas, see what it has caused them to. They were peaceful, they were living, they were working. I remember when I was in Israel on a tour, the bus driver was from Gaza. The bus driver of one of the buses in Israel, when we were on a tour, he was from Gaza. So he was a Muslim in Gaza working in Israel, and he took us to all these places. So what does it do? Now it's cut off, because everybody is suspicious of others. So sometimes when we allow evil people to be among us and rule among us, they cause us more trouble and pain and more suffering. So the people of Gaza also have a decision to make, like the people of northern Uganda had to make a decision to really resist Kony. If they did not resist Kony, they would have perished with him, because he kept on using them, cut people's lips. And Ugandans shouldn't forget, we have seen these acts of terrorism done on our people. This man used to come and cut off people's lips because they have refused to support him. His own people, his own tribesmen, he used to hurt them that way. But thank God the people of Acholi resisted Kony, and now Acholi is one of the biggest, Gulu is one of the biggest robust city that is growing. So if you do not approve terrorist actions in your system, you suffer consequences. Innocent people, young people were having a musical festival, and they found themselves kidnapped, killed, and their friends have not seen them before. Our prayers also those who have been.
Twagala kwebaza Katonda olwa enkolagana gye tulina wakati ne ggwanga lya Isreal n'amawanga amalala. So Ambassador abadde atukyaliddeko okutukulisa bomu gye baali batuleetedde wano, ate n'okutubuulirako eggwanga lye kye liyitamu mu nnaku zino, nga bwe tumanyi nti waliwo olutalo wakati w'aba Palestina n'aba Isreal. Naye olutalo luno mu butuufu bw'alunnyonnyodde teruli wakati w'aba Palestina n'aba Isreal. Abantu aba bulijjo tebalina lutalo lwe balwanagana. Olutalo luli wakati w'ekibinja kye bayita Hamas n'amagye ga Isreal. Ekibinja ekyo kyalumba ne kikola obutemu eri abantu ba Isreal. Era tulaze ebifaananyi wano eby'abantu abayokebwa, abattibwa, abakosebwa, abanyagibwa, abawambibwa, nabo kibakola kakati nga bwe tuba tubiraba mu mawulire. Ekyomukisa omubi nti abantu ababulijjo be basinga okubonaabona era be bagwa mu kubuzibu, naddala abaana n'abakyala n'abantu abakadde. Bw'ogenda okukuba ekifaananyi nga olutalo bukasa olubeerawo olutalo lwonna, nga bwe baga nti enjovu n'enjovu bwe zirwanagana omuddo gwe gukutuka. Ekyokubiri, obulumbaganyi buno obw'obutemu obw'ekitujju nga bwe tulaba bwe baatuusa ku Isreal ng'ennaku z'omwezi 7 omwezi ogwa October. Bw'olabira ddala obulumbaganyi obwo bufaanaganako ne wali Kaseese, abaana nga bali mu tulo beebase, oli n'abayingirira ne babatta, ne babookya, ne baboononera ebintu byabwe. Kyekimu nekyetugenze tulaba mu bitundu ebisinga obungi abatujju bwe bali. Tetugisadde kwerabira obulumbaganyi n'obutujju bwa Kony. Yasalanga abantu emimwa, n'abantu abalala bangi nnyo. Mujjukira obutujju obwali wano ku rugby ground, abantu bali balaba mupiira nga tebamanyi kikigenda kujja, naye bangi bafiirawo. So obutemu buno obw'obutujju bulina okulwanyisibwa bwonna we buli. Kati buli mu mawanga mangi nnyo. Ate ekisinzenze okuneeraliikiriza nti bakozesa bodaboda ng'era bano abalumba General Katumba. Akedde ku makya agenda atudde mu motoka ne muwala we bambi teyawona. Twebaza Katonda General Katumba yawona. So obulumbaganyi buno bwe bakola abatujju olaba nti bakoppakopa ekiri Nigeria ekiri wano bakozesa pikipi balumba bakola batya ne bakola so bannayuganda tubeere twekumemu omuliro twekoleko kubanga obutujju bwe buli era busobola okutuusibwako omuntu yenna n'abanga singa ffe kati teyatuyamba twandibadde naffe osanga tetuliwo wano naye twebaza Katonda olwekyo.
Pastor, enkolagana y'amawanga ababiri gafuniramuwa?
I think okolagana ne Isirayiri kituyamba mu bintu bwe biti nti Isirayiri nsi yo ngunjufu yo ensi kyebayita nti eri wagguluko mu bya kalimagezi mu byokulima mu byokusoma mu byaki ne mu byokulwana ne mu byokwelinda so kitufunamu ngaffe okumanya abantu bano engeri gye basobola okubeera nabo kubanga omulabi bwe yabalumba ekyekulabirako yabalumba n'awamba ebyalo byabwe ebiwerera ddala abantu bajjanga 3,400 abayingira ensi yaabwe naye ne basobola okubakuba ne babazayo mu ssaawa 12 ate kati be balumba so olabira ddala nti waliwo bingi bye tuyinza okufuna okuyiga nti kiki kyokola nga ozindiddwako kiki kyokola ng'olumbiddwa naye okusinga ennyo enkolagana zaffe ez'amawanga zombi nazo zijja kusobola okuyamba n'abantu bali Abapalestina abantu ab'e Gaza kubanga nabo beetaaga ensi yaabwe naye badde nze simanyi nti Isirayiri ava mu bitundu byabwe babadde beefuga nti balina gavumenti balina pulezidenti balina amagye balina ebyokulwanyisa balina bakkirizibwa okubeera nga eggwanga birifaanana so kuba nadde neebuuza emmundu baazijjeewa singa badde bayeekera zayiseewa naye olwokuba nti ebadde ensi eyeetongodde esobola okufuna ebyokulwanyisa byayo nesobola okukola byesobola okukola so naye tubongere ddala bafunire eddala ensi yaabwe basobola okubeera mu bitundu byabwe baabawa basobole okubeera nti balina abakulembeze naye bw'obeera nga omutujju yakuli waggulu tayinza kukkiriza kuba na mirembe kubanga nabo bennyini beetaaga okununulibwa Abapalestina banunulibwe basobole okuba nti bebeefugira ensi zaabwe.
Pastor, a quick one. Can I have an overview of what has transpired from your meeting with the ambassador?
Okay. Meeting with the ambassador, Ambassador Lotem. He came to pay a courtesy call ever since he heard that we survived the bomb, so he needed to be here in person to say sorry, because when we were talking online, when he said I'll come and pay my courtesy call and make sure that the people of Uganda know and the people of Miracle Center. We thank God for that relationship we have, but also he has revealed to us what happened on October 7th when the terrorist organization Hamas attacked their country, and what they are doing and what they are planning should be. And also we talked about agriculture, we talked about students, scholarships, we talked about what can we benefit more as Uganda in terms of, because of our relationships. So it was a very good meeting we had, and then the program also we did.
Pastor, mpozi katono nnyo mu Luganda.
Ebyo abatujju batukoze bubi nnyo kubanga bagenda ne batta omukyalo oli n'omwami abali baze wano ku honeymoon. Nze nabadde bweru ennaku ezo naye buli muntu yenna asazaamu okujja kubanga balowooza obutujju buli everywhere. Abantu bali bambi babatta bubi nnyo. Teri muntu akeera ku makya n'akola embaga n'agenda mu ggwanga n'atasobola. Era kyova olaba tulina okunyweza mu byokwerinda kwaffe kubanga ekintu kati ng'ekyo si kunenya bunti situnenya kubanga abatujju bo tosobola kubeera naye twongeremu amaanyi kubanga tumanyi bwe tujja ssente zaffe ez'amawanga ag'ebweru ziva mu kulima, ziva mu balambuzi, ziva mu mirimu gikolebwa, giva mu bantu abatambula bakabakola egyabwe be basasula emisolo. Kakati bw'oliwa n'abeera mu bbaasi ne bagiteeka mu bbomu olabira ddala nti tuba tuzeeyo emabega abantu bajja kulekerawo okutambula, abantu bajja kudduka mu ggwanga. So tusaba nti abantu abavunaanyizibwa ku bitongole bibalebira ddala nti wano Uganda wejja ekyokulya bandibadde tubinyweza abatujju ne batabiyingirira nga ba students. Wakati omwana bw'omusindika mu ssomero n'agenda okusoma bw'oba temumanyi ssomero nti terina security emala otya kati n'okutwala omwana mu kisulo ogamba wayi kagenda asoma akomewo naye ate era ne mu kkubo bakusangamu. So obutujju buno buzza ensi emabega. So bannayuganda tuleme kitwala nti byabufuzi, tuleme kubitwala nti waliwo ateekateeka ekintu ekirala kyonna. Obutujju bwe buli tubulabe bakola mu nsi yonna, tulabe ebiyinza okutuusibwa ku bulamu bw'abantu singa naffe singa succeeding twandibadde tetuliiwo wano. Yeah, the impact of terrorism on the economy is greater than anything else you have ever seen. I mean, just the way they killed those tourists who had come on their honeymoon, it set Uganda back another 10 years, another 5 years, because for the people to accept that I can go to Uganda and be safe. Everywhere, I've just been abroad, and you hear what the people are saying. They are cancelling the plans they were coming to Uganda. Why? Because of fear of terrorism. And it's a local terrorism. So we really need to do our level best to safeguard ourselves, secure our important sectors like churches, like schools, like colleges, like industries, like even buildings, like even installations. I mean, if a terrorist come and hit BBS or New Vision or anything, they will take us back another 5 years. By the time you rebuild again, you have already. So we really need to be careful and be vigilant to watch out with this.